There's a moment sometimes when you go back to a game you haven't touched in years. You sit down, the music starts, and something in you just relaxes. Not because you've forgotten how hard it was, or because you're seeing it with fresh eyes, but because you remember it completely, every corner of it, and it still fits. That's a strange thing when you think about it. We don't usually feel that way about films we loved, or books, or even places we grew up in. Those things can feel distant, a little smaller than we remembered, slightly out of reach. But certain games pull you back in like no time has passed at all. They feel warm, familiar in the way only a few things in life ever get to be. I think part of it is the body. When you play a game enough, your hands just know what to do. The muscle memory is there long after the details fade. You pick up a controller and your thumbs just start moving before your brain has caught up. There's something deeply comforting about that, about having a skill that doesn't rust, a fluency that returns to you like an old language you were afraid you'd forgotten. A lot of the feelings we carry back in those worlds aren't really about the game at all. They're about who we were when we played it, the home we lived in, the season it belonged to, the people we were when that music was just music we heard every day without thinking twice about it. Games take longer to finish than most things. You spend dozens of hours inside them, sometimes hundreds. That's a lot of evenings, a lot of afternoons, a lot of late nights, a lot of you folded into the experience of moving through that world. By the time you're done, the game isn't just a story you consumed. It's a place you lived inside for a while. And the world inside the game doesn't change. That's the part that matters. Real places shift and disappear. Childhood homes get repainted or torn down. The people you love don't stay the same. But the little village in the game, the one with the fountain in the square, and the music that played when you arrived for the first time, it's still there, waiting exactly as you left it. We don't talk about that enough. The way games can hold a version of the past steady. Not preserved in amber exactly, but more like a room that's been kept for you. The chair is still by the window. The light still comes in the same way in the afternoon. The familiar melody still plays when you open the door, and you feel your shoulders drop, just slightly, just enough. Some people find that in music. A song comes on and suddenly they're 17 again, or 22, or some other age that felt more urgent than this one. But a song is over in 3 minutes. A game you loved, that's not just a memory you visit, it's a whole world you step back into. You can still stay a while, you can wander, you don't have to leave until you're ready. There's also something about the way these games were made. The ones that feel like home usually have a particular quality to them, a kind of handmade warmth. You can feel the care in the details, the way the light behaves, the little sounds that play when you do small things, the way the world seems to want to be there. Nothing is hostile or exhausting. Even the difficult parts feel like they were designed by someone who understood that struggle should ultimately feel good. That warmth is rare. And when we find it, we hold on to it. We remember it even when we moved on. We come back to it when things are heavy, or when we just need to be somewhere that makes sense for a little while. There's also something to be said for repetition, for the comfort of knowing what comes next. Life tends to surprise us, and not always kindly. There's a particular relief in knowing that if you go left at the crossroads, you'll find the same meadow you always found, the same chest with the same item, the same character who says the same slightly awkward thing that made you smile years ago and still makes you smile now. Predictability in a world that rarely offers it can feel like a gift. And yet it's not purely about comfort either. The best of these games still challenge you. They still ask something of you. They just do it within a container you trust. You know the rules, you know the logic of the world. And because of that, even the hard moments feel manageable. Even failure feels okay. You can try again and the world will still be there, patient, holding its shape. Maybe that's the part of why we return, not to escape difficulty, but to experience difficulty on terms we understand, in a place where the ground is solid under your feet, even when you're struggling. In life, we don't always get to choose the nature of the challenges we face. In these games, we do, and there's a subtle power in that. There's also the matter of identity. Who we were when we played a game is in some ways stored inside it. We associate those worlds with our own interior life at the time. The things we were worried about, the things we were hoping for, the version of ourselves that stayed up too late and didn't care. Going back to the game is, in a strange way, going back to that person too, checking in on them, spending a little time in their company. Sometimes that feels bittersweet. You notice how young you must have been, how differently you approach something now, how your instincts have shifted. But mostly it feels tender, a kind of affection for your former self that's easier to access through the game than through memories alone. The game holds that version of you in a way that photos and journals can't quite manage. It lets you move through the space that person loved. And that's not nothing, that's actually quite a lot, because that's the quiet truth underneath all of it. Sometimes the world feels too much, and sometimes what you need isn't distraction, it's return. A return to somewhere that knows you, somewhere that doesn't ask anything of you except to show up.